The amount of wisdom you can draw from a book is unbelievable. Over the years, I've read so many books, and over the years of running the Sight Shed podcast, I've had the privilege of meeting many of these authors. The wisdom that these guys distill into these books is something you can actually take and you can practically apply to your own business and your own life. And the lessons you can learn are just incredible. We all know we should be reading, but the reality is, for many of us, we just don't make the time to do it. So, the purpose of this playlist is to give you guys an overview of some of the books that I've been reading, so you can then make a decision on whether or not you think it's worth time investing in. Enjoy. Okay guys, Matt Jones here, coming at you with a book review. In fact, it's our first book review. Now, I've got to say, it's not the first book I've read, but it's the last book I've read. So I've got a whole bunch to go back here that I've read recently and do a summary on. But today I'm going to talk to you about the one that I just recently finished, which is called How to Franchise Your Business Simply. It's a book by Brian Keane, who was a gentleman I met at an event down in Melbourne probably about 8 or 9 months ago. And many of you are probably thinking, okay, well, why the hell would I be reading a book on franchising? So if you listen to the Sight Shed podcast, which I know a lot of you probably do, you'll know that we put a lot of emphasis and spend a lot of time in the area of business systems, standard operating procedures, and things like that. Over at tradingwebguys.com.au, it's one of our services. We put a lot of effort into helping guys build out their processes and that kind of stuff for their businesses. And so when I met Brian, we had a great conversation to begin with, and then through having a chat with him, I really started recognizing what was familiar in the sense of a lot of franchise operations and people that run and own franchises. The whole thing's built around systems. You can't have a successful franchise without systems. In fact, a franchise effectively is systems. It's basically what you buy. So having a chat with Brian, I thought this is going to be potentially not directly relevant, but it'll be super useful for me because I know a lot of the content out of this book is going to be related to systems. So the reason I read it was, first of all, I wanted to learn it myself. And second of all, I want to talk to you guys about some of the fundamental things that I pulled out of it. Now, the idea behind this review, guys, is just to give you enough information so that you can go and read the book yourself or go and find out more. Actually, if you head across to franchisesimply.com.au, there is a option for you to get this book for the grand price of $0. So you can get it through the website there. But anyway, what I want to talk to you today about is, I'm a prolific highlighter, by the way. It's why it takes me so long to read books, is because I sit there and I go through it with a highlighter and just go nuts, and then I go back over all the highlighted sections after I've completed the book and try and give myself a bit of a recap. So the main takeaway that I got from this book, it was a great book, by the way. I recommend you read it. It's only small. This book, I think, took me maybe a week, not even. I mean, that's how slow I am at reading, by the way. So yeah, it's not a huge investment of time. I think I've spent maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes a day just going through this. And as I said before, I do like to highlight and then go back over certain things. So it does take me a little bit longer than it would probably take you. I'm not a speed reader either. So the main thing that I got out of this was there's a really cool workflow in here on how to make the people side of your franchise work. And in this, Brian breaks down a whole bunch of different systems. He talks about the recruitment stage. He talks about systems, training, supporting, technical support, and then communications. I mean, it just goes on and on. It talks about your responsibilities and how you need to be accountable to that. Building a team, creating the team. It talks about applying the right profiles to your team members and all this kind of stuff. It's a really, really interesting book. Now, the reason I would encourage you to read this is because even though, like when we're talking about a franchise book, it's typically more of a macro scenario, like we're talking a lot about bigger sort of style businesses. However, the principles are certainly relevant to small business. And I know if you can employ some of these principles into your own business, you'll probably find that you will have more success in the space of staff recruitment and retention. You'll probably find that your business will operate a lot better through systems and standard operating procedures. And you will probably learn as well that how to become a better leader through ascertaining roles and responsibilities, through organizational structure and that kind of thing. So guys, I encourage you to go and check that book out. I thought it was great. And that pretty much wraps up this review today. So my name is Matt Jones. This is a SiteShed book review. Go check it out. The podcast is available through iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Play, wherever you listen to your podcast. It's the SiteShed. Hope to see you in there, and leave some comments if you like this review. Cheers.